Hey, welcome back to Big Balls Fantasy Football, and we are moving on to running backs. Now, this one is a segment that you need to pay attention to because the running backs are just a little bit more difficult to pick someone who's going to go off because there's so many shared backfields out there, and that's not what you want. So I think there's only about 5 or 6 maybe nowadays, 7 teams that you're guaranteed that basically – one back is going to take, maybe 80% of the snaps. Everyone else is juggling between 2 and 3 running backs, which makes it really tough in fantasy. So we're just going to go ahead and get you started.
Yeah, running backs by committee, big nightmare. So we're going to first, I didn't say this in the other segment, but I'm going to say it in this one. We're picking the sleeper ones. Everybody's going to take all of the top running backs. You're going to take the Lynches. You're going to take all of the Fortes, all of the big studs.
Peterson.
The Jamal Charles. Everybody's going to take them in the first round. It's going to boop, 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 right across the board. These are the ones that you should take in the second or third round, we're telling you. Some people are going to wait. Some people are going to waffle and start picking up quarterbacks. Bad move this season. Bad move.
There's enough quarterbacks to go around. Once you get past your top 5, everyone else is. A lot of people are in that midsection. There's enough of that to go around. So, and some of these you might even want to grab in the first round if you're in a large league. If you're in a 14, 16, even 12-person league, these will be first rounders too.
Because when you get that, if you're not part of that wraparound, you're going to end up with somebody funky. LACY is one of the new stars of the NFL, and the reason I call him a sleeper also is he's a second-year player. Even though you have a rookie that does good their first year, you never know what's going to happen injury-wise. You don't know if they will work too much. But LACY is a really good bet because he has Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback, who doesn't get injured very often either. So you're going to have a big passing game going. You have Jordy Nelson, you have Cobb, you have all the usual suspects there for Rodgers. And there's no reason that LACY isn't going to go crazy. He had 1,178 rushing yards last season, a 4.1 yard average per carry, 11 touchdowns, and 4 games over 100 yards. He probably will have 6 or 7 over 100 yards this year. He was a beast last year. He's going to beast mode out this year.
Yeah, I mean, he was the rookie offensive player of the year as well. So that's a huge honor to be able to get. And, again, I just think that he was a guy that was, very questionable last year when people were drafting him. It was just one of those 50-50s. You either drafted him and, he stunk up the place, or you drafted him and he went off, which he did. So, I think that he'll be great this year. He should be.
Give us our number 2 running
back. Our number 2 is DeMarco Murray from the Cowboys. And, I know he's kind of an interesting guy because he's had some injury problems in the past.
A couple of injuries.
A few injuries. But he wasn't injured that much last year. He played 14 games, so that's pretty good. And the Cowboys are saying that they're going to run the ball a lot more this year. Now, yes, that's what they're saying. We're not sure if it's really going to happen, but they sure as heck did in their first preseason game. That's basically all they were doing was running the ball.
Tony Romo is old. That's all.
Well, he's coming off his second back surgery, too, so I'm sure they're going to want to take some of the pressure off him. So now if they get down in a game early, that's very hard to do, but you got to keep some more balance. Now, he was the 6th best running back in one of my leagues last year, and that was a PPR league because he had 53 catches. Yes. So I had him in that league, and I was happy. He ended up, being well in the top 10, almost the top 5. And he's going to be the main back. Now, this is another thing we're talking about. He's going to take 70 to 80% of the snaps, I think. So that's always a good thing to have. And let's face it, the Cowboys are going to need to score a lot of points because their defense is not going to be much better this year. Right. They were last in the league last year, and just with everyone that they've had to try to replace, Ware went to Denver, Sean Lee's out for this season. Yeah, I just think they're not going to be very much better this year. So their offense is going to have to put up the points, and Murray's going to have to help them do that.
I think Murray's going to have to run a lot from looking at those pictures of Jerry Jones. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, let's go on to number 3. I told you we were going to hype up the sex factor this year.
I know.
I'm just kidding. All right.
I saw those of Jerry Jones, too. That was kind of shocking. You're an NFL owner and you let those get out. But you know, some people let them get out on purpose. Maybe he just wanted to show people the young chicks he could pull.
I thought you could pay people off in Texas to get things done for you. I guess you pissed somebody off. Anyway, our third one is STACY, on the same level as LACY. Was a rookie last year, was given a big job. You know what? He did it. Anybody that picked him up, I had him on one of my teams, and people are just like, "You're getting a ton every season." And my favorite thing and my pet peeve, and we had to do this in Jenilee's going to be in my work league this year, to make it 10 people. And we have a guy that is coming.
I'm going to win that money. It's a money league.
It's a money league. Yeah. And so this guy, I'm warning you, named Tyler, yes, I'm calling you out, always has me change the rules. 2 out of the last 3 years, he came in last place. So he thinks it's a scoring problem. So 1 year, quarterbacks are overvalued. This year, running backs, blah, blah, blah. We need to even it out. The scores are way too high. And so you always have to adjust the score in the league. Very annoying. With STACY, he was pissed at me because I would put a beating on him. Rookie year, 973 yards, 7 touchdowns, another great number, 4-yard average per carry, 4 100-yard games. Coach Fisher is going to keep going more and more and more to him. He's just a running back stud.
So, yeah, I'm hoping to get him in at least one league. That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Give us our next one.
Okay, so our next one is a guy that I love this kid. I did talk about him last season quite a bit, and he did good, but I think he's going to be even better for everyone this season. Giovani Bernard.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to be the guy. Again, the only one they really have. They're not going to use the law firm BenJarvis Green Ellis very much this season.
BenJarvis Green Ellis is
buddy.
old.
Sorry,
you see
buddy.
a theme here?
But they are giving the job to Giovani.
Mm-hmm.
He also has a new offensive coordinator, Hugh Jackson, and they are going to be running the ball a ton more than when Gruden was their offensive coordinator. So be prepared for that because they're going to be, not putting as much pressure on Dalton to throw and do everything with his arm. And they're going to be running this kid. He did have a great rookie season. He had the second most yards from scrimmage by any Bengals rookie in history. So he's already, starting to do some historic things over there. And he catches the ball as well. He does everything. I think he's going to have he should have over 1,000 rushing yards this year, with it being, his job. And I would say a very good amount. I would say over 500 yards catching. I know he had over 500 yards catching last year. So, and lots of touchdowns. So he's a guy you're going to want to get.
Mm-hmm. You were right about him last season.
I liked him, and he didn't even get a lot of the work last season.
Mm-hmm.
But when he started coming about, people were like, who's this person? Who's this kid?
Mm-hmm.
And so this year I got to talk about him again because he's going to get all the work.
Yeah, a lot of people made the mistake of taking the law firm last year. Let's go on to our next running back, Montee Ball, Denver. Nosha Moreno is adios. And Nosha Moreno, had a good season, but when he was put out on the market, a lot of teams didn't bite. So, he finally landed, and Denver still has Montee Ball. He had a bad start. That's why Noshan came on and had a good mid-season. Then Montee Ball going towards the playoffs, he was awesome. And in the playoffs, he was even better. 558 yards, 4 touchdowns. He had one 100-yard game, and I believe that was right when he came back. Noshan, they just did Noshan get injured?
I think he might have gotten injured for a week or two.
He did.
It wasn't anything major. But,
right, and that's they went to their second punch, and that's how that happened. You have Peyton Manning. That takes a lot of pressure off your running game, and now Montee Ball is finally going to get to go crazy. I think he's going to have a pretty damn good year.
Yeah, I think with him, it's slightly questionable only because of, it's a lot of it's how he does in pass protection because you have Manning there. So he's got to, do a little bit better with pass protection and not fumble. I know he was a little fumbly at times.
He did have the fumbleitis, yeah.
So if he can not have the fumbleitis, I think he'll be great. He is missing a lot of preseason, though. They're not sure. They don't have him back yet. After he had surgery. So just keep an eye on that. He should be fine for week 1.
Right.
But, as any team, they want to have you for a little bit of the preseason to kind of get going. So he's a guy that I do think you could probably maybe get a little bit later in the draft.
Yes.
And even if he's like wobbly the first couple seasons, getting his legs back under, or first couple weeks, not seasons, weeks, getting his legs back under him. I think that, as the season goes, you might be very, very happy you took him.
And he's who you have on the team that went to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
They
score a lot of points, too.
That's why we call them sleepers. That's why we call it Sleeper City. All right. That's our show for this week. Thank you for watching. Again, don't forget to go to our hub, www.bigballsfantasyfootball.com. That'll take you to all of our social media and to our Facebook page and our Twitter.
Yeah, Facebook is facebook.com/bigballsfantasyfootball, and our Twitter is @bigballsfball. So check us out. We're constantly doing updates, and we have a new photo shoot we're going to do this year, so we're going to share a lot of pictures. And then next week, be sure to tune in because we're doing wide receivers and tight ends.
And I have a hint about the photo shoot. 2 pieces. And I'm not talking about chicken. That's all I have to say.
Well, Greg might have the chicken in some pictures.
Wow. I think you just set up our theme. Fried chicken and blank. That'll be great.
So definitely stay tuned for some new exciting big ball stuff.
Good luck in your drafts.
Good night.